star, but perhaps he'd outgrown his southern Brazilian origins. When Paris Saint-Germain expressed an interest, Ronaldinho had to go.
I think Ronaldinho is the greatest player to come out of Rio Grande do Sul, and one of the greatest in Brazil. However, I think the region hasn't recognised that fact.
The fans turned on their hero, though, when they learned he'd signed for PSG on a free transfer, taking advantage of the Bosman law. The love affair between Ronaldinho and his hometown club was over.
That was more of a fans thing. He was labelled a mercenary because Grêmio did not receive a transfer fee. Because in Brazil we don't have a Bosman law, and in Europe they do.
Ronaldinho didn't hurt anyone. He didn't rob anyone. He didn't take money from anyone. He did everything within the laws of the game. These days it happens all the time and no one gets upset about it.
After a few months in exile at Grêmio, Ronaldinho settled in the French capital surprisingly easily. He was still far from the complete player, but he showed flashes of genius that promised much for the future. Still, though, there was work to be done.
He needed to work to progress. In the first year, he understood this. And in his own mind, he really tried. He had that genius. He had an incisive gift on the field. And we, the coaching staff and the fans, were helping him to become even better.
It was a great learning process there. It was my first club outside Brazil, and so I learnt an entirely new culture and a new type of football. It was a really important stage in my life.
Once again, Ronaldinho came alive in the big games, but he struggled for consistency.
Generally, he was good in the important matches against the likes of Marseille, but he knew how to choose his moments. In the big ones, he was very good, but in the others, which were less important, he just wasn't as interested.
As the four-times world champions travelled to the 2002 World Cup in Japan and Korea, the pressure wasn't as intense as it might have been.
I think we left the country with little faith in us, especially from the point of view of the press, and also the fans. We hadn't done well in qualification, but we were always confident and were able to prove people wrong.
Without the pressure of being tournament favourites, Brazil were able to express themselves. Ronaldinho played alongside Ronaldo and Rivaldo in an attacking trio, and the youngster blossomed in such celebrated company.
We had players like Rivaldo, Ronaldo and Cafu, and obviously other great players. And I think that helped Ronaldinho, because although it didn't take all the responsibility off his shoulders, he could at least share it with the others. And so I think he played with more freedom.
It was the quarter-final against England when Ronaldinho truly left his mark on the competition. Michael Owen opened the scoring for England before a brilliant run from Ronaldinho led to Rivaldo's equaliser on the stroke of half-time. Then 5 minutes into the second half, a stroke of genius from the 22-year-old.
I'm telling you, he meant it. All of us argued about it for ages. We were saying, no, It must have been a cross. But before he took that free kick, he turned around. And I think he said to Belletti, "Keep your eye on the goalkeeper. He'll come off his line." He definitely was shooting. He couldn't have hit it so perfectly if he hadn't been.
It was a delicate moment, and that's when Ronaldinho's star shone for us. That's why these guys are geniuses, capable of something special, and were born to play football. And they had these fortunate moments too.
I was fortunate enough to score that fantastic goal and help Brazil win the World Cup.
Despite later getting sent off for a foul, Ronaldinho's goal had restored belief to a shaky Brazilian side.
Admittedly, he was stupid getting sent off against England, but then he did score that ridiculous goal. And that was in a game where the whole country thought we'd lose, because we thought England were better than Brazil.
Brazil never looked back. They overcame Turkey in the semi-finals, which meant they were to face Germany in the final. 2 goals from Ronaldo gave the Brazilians a 2-0 win and a record 5th World Cup. Ronaldinho was voted the tournament's best midfield player. The youngster from Porto Alegre had come a long way.
Becoming a World Cup winner was a dream come true. As soon as I started playing football, I'd imagine myself in a Grêmio shirt and then in a Brazil one. And then I'd picture myself winning the World Cup with Brazil, so it really was a dream come true.
Back at Paris Saint-Germain, however, things weren't going quite so well. His inconsistent form was still an issue, and manager Luis Fernandes complained that the Brazilian was more interested in the Parisian nightlife than turning out for Paris Saint-Germain. Had that World Cup win gone to Ronaldinho's head?
When he came back to us for the second year, it wasn't the same. In his mind, he was a world champion. His family were not here. They'd gone back to Brazil and he was alone. So it was difficult for me, for the club and his teammates. Because it was the same Ronaldinho, but it was a different player. Which was a shame because we gave him a lot.
It was time to move on. Europe's top clubs queued up for Ronaldinho's signature in 2003, and eventually he decided that his future lay in Spain with Barcelona. Ronaldinho was to be the star who would revitalise the Catalan giants.
He came at a moment that few people believed in the possibilities of Barca, and he gave the people the way to hope and believe in a new team to win important things.
His impact was immediate.
I think it was a case of either, here, I show what I can do and gain the respect of the whole world, or just stay and be a millionaire. Like another Denilson, someone good at the circus, a trickster, but not a footballer.
The tricks were no longer for show. Ronaldinho was becoming a decisive player, scoring crucial goals at crucial moments.
I must say he's one of the few players I saw in my life that made the difference and that could make the difference and did it in a very natural way.
Under the management of Dutch legend Frank Rijkaard, Barcelona became unstoppable. And in Ronaldinho they had the symbol of Rijkaard's attacking football philosophy. In just his second season, he helped Barca to their first league title in 6 years.